What's up, ladies and gentlemen? You are back for another episode of the Get Down Podcast, brought to you by Dragon Energy. The power is yours.
And 902 lit.
And 902 lit. Putting the 2 lit in 902 lit. Especially right now. Yeah.
All right, there you go. That was great.
We got my man Chico in the building.
What's up?
Tachichi.
Yeah.
So you know it's gonna be a unique episode every time. We've been having fun.
That's right. I gotta take this off. It's fucking weird.
Yeah. I think I just got my.
Well, I like using a mask for safety, but it's just hard to talk to you right now. So.
Yeah, I just got tested. Not for COVID, but.
Fuck. Oh yeah, you need a few tests.
I should learn to fucking watch my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How you doing today, bro?
I'm doing good.
That's good. Thank you for coming out, man. It's always a pleasure to have you.
Yeah.
When we started putting together the podcast, you were one of the first people I thought of immediately. Just as somebody I love and somebody that has a lot to share.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In the game.
Well, we've had good conversations over several alcoholic beverages. From time to time.
And those sessions, when we were just frantic, and you and D and myself, and we would just be freestyling, and it was just the most genuine.
Yeah, I mean, we were having fun. It was basically, we don't even really freestyle enough or anything like that. Everybody's getting old and getting too busy to just hang around and do nothing.
Do nothing.
Rap about nothing, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm not.
I still will too, you know what I mean? But yeah, those are fun times when you're just nothing to do, you're just hanging, everybody's got some drinks in them, sparring out.
Well, a lot of the fun is gone from hip hop.
Yeah.
And a lot of the just vibing, you know what I mean? Like that, there was no extra shit. It was just four people that love their craft.
Yeah.
You know?
I think everybody's not vibing together like everybody used to. You know what I mean? Crews would just be you could battle each other or whatever, but it was a hip hop thing, 4 elements, whether it be b-boying, whether it be DJing, whether it be, you know what I mean, MCing. People would sort of come together in one spot, and this was back when clubs were way more bigger, right? Back in the 90s or 2000s, whatever. And they would battle, and then this is where you would meet everybody at the club. And everybody be hanging out there. You sort of call somebody up the phone, or you would see them at the club. That's the only way you can see them. Now, man, nobody's having fun because fucking all the assholes is making all the money who's rapping out here.
Yeah.
Just from the internet, you know what I mean? From their bedroom. You could do something I'm not trying to diss on Soulja Boy because he's one of the originals, you know what I mean, and jump on the internet and be successful. But we all know that song's not that good, you know what I mean? So, a couple piano notes, boom. Doesn't have to be mixed right, doesn't have to be recorded right, and you're selling 3, 4, 5 million from your house, and you're getting, then it turns into billions, and then you're getting YouTube money and all this other money, right?
You know what's funny about Soulja Boy? I didn't know this until recently, but in the LimeWire days, he would upload his music, but as 50 Cent or somebody that was popping. So people would go to download some 50 Cent song and they'd end up getting Soulja Boy, and he was just making sure people would hear
I think I did know something like
his
that.
shit.
Yeah, because he says his name about 1,000 times in the song. So,
but that's a good marketing strategy.
Yeah, I mean it's something, right? But it's
it's shady. Yeah, motherfuckers are listening, I guess. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying to answer your question about the fun in the game is he's having fun. You know what I mean? He's having a great old time. But it's it's not the same. There's not as much energy, not as much effort put into it. You know what I mean? So it's you don't feel that good fun and that good vibe.
A lot of shit's overproduced.
Well, it's overproduced, and it seems like it's done so quickly, and it's just I'm at the club in Miami at 2 a.m. I'm gonna hit the studio up. You know what I mean? Hit the back shift of the studio, what a lot of people like to do. Go record some shitty ass jam at 4 a.m, but there's no bars to it. There's no you know what I mean? No. It's just, it's gonna be a moneymaker. And I'm not saying that these dudes ain't talented. No. I'm just saying they don't really have to go dive deep into their thought process to do some of these things because they're gonna fucking sell a hits anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, like, so much of hip hop these days is a marketing of lifestyle.
Well, yeah.
Right, and I feel like that takes away a lot of the enjoyment. Like everybody's so worried about how they look all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That nobody can like give in and just kind of like be part of the culture and like, you know, enjoy taking those risks.
Yeah.
Or being critiqued. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, it's true. But I mean, at the same time, I mean, yeah, it's just a lot of money in it, right? So basically, these dudes are like walking commercials for certain brands like Louis or fuck, you know what I mean? So it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell them not to get that paycheck, but yeah, it's different. It's definitely different.
it is. Like, you've been in the game forever. What is the biggest, like, I guess one of the things you're saying is about, like, you'd go to the club back in the day, like, because we did, like, where the internet was less accessible.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you really wanted to be a part of something, you had to go be there. Like, you had to go be in the scene.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right?
well, that's the same thing with like shows, right? Like the way that people see you and your music is you did shows. You know what I mean? So it was, yeah, like I was saying before, it wasn't about the internet. You had to go and you had to prove yourself on stage. Like we was just like talking about before the camera started or whatever with the Scribble Jam and stuff.
Yeah.
Those battles were like freestyle battles. You know what I mean? It wasn't like sit back, take a month with the written stuff and come out so that it's more polished and more on point. Like, and also I'm not dissing that because, you know, Paste, he from the HRM.
Yeah.
Was representing Paste. And he murders it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, he's great.
So what he does is it's an art because like he's basically never slipping when he does that fucking.
Honestly, I find like maybe I'm just an asshole, but I find even battle rap's been getting stale.
It's been getting a little bit stale because
it's because of the writtens and shit. So many like there's so many tropes now, like shit that you're just gonna expect. And like, I don't know, like when battling was freestyling, like you never knew what would happen, right?
Yeah.
You had to be off the cuff.
Yeah.
But these days it just feels like so scripted, like almost like wrestling.
Yeah, I mean,
It does. It's
no,
like
it's true because it became big. Like, you know what I mean? So like that's like you can't take anything away from like the past days and the people. Like, you know what I mean? Murder Mooks, like, you know what I mean? Like these dudes has always been doing it, right? And they do it well for longer than it's been this big. You know what I mean? So yeah, it does seem contrived at times and stuff like that, but it's just like anything else, man. You got more dudes coming in trying to do their thing, trying to get that quick recognition and notoriety.
Yeah. And like battling is a really great way to earn respect if you're good at it.
No, it's true.
It's one of the like you're pitted head to head.
Yeah, I mean, before, like, you know, when you're an MC, you should be able to just, you know what I mean, drop bars at the drop of a dime. But that's sort of like, you know, when you're behind closed doors, like honing your craft, you're doing your writing and you're doing your practicing. If you put like a couple hours in, like, you know, not going to say a day, but you need to put a few hours a week at least in that. You know what I mean? To be able to
stay sharp.
To stay sharp. And also, I remember like when I was growing up, when I was younger, like 14, 15, 16, I just would roll around Dartmouth and Halifax with my crew and somebody battle. We just battled. There was no fighting or nothing like that. It was just like, it's just sparring, you know what I mean? I'd always be murking people, but but it's still like, it's just kept you sharp, right? So that like it didn't matter when it came to recording, when it came to jumping on stage, when it came to freestyle, when it came to doing the sets, you were just always ready to go. Like I even find these days for me, as I gotten older, there's times where I don't feel as sharp because I don't have enough time to dedicate just to like
to just spitting
and just sitting at the house and you know what I mean. Now everybody got bills and all that kind of shit. So it's like I still put away time to do that because you always want to stay sharp or whatever. But it's just not as much as where when I was younger I was just fucking. That's all I was thinking about.
Yeah. Well, you also do it more of as a utility now, right? Like when you got an album that's got to come out, or you got deadlines that you got to meet, right? You don't have as much time to just write for writing.
Yeah, no, it's
You're
true.
writing with a purpose, right? So it feels more like work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
like you still love it, like no matter what. But like, you know, even me sometimes, like writing sometimes it feels like work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm like, okay, well, my album's getting ready to drop, so I have to have my next album written and pretty much ready to go. Otherwise, I'll lose the momentum. So like I'm writing like, okay, where does these songs fit in? Like I'm not like, I'm still making the music I want to make, but it's like I don't have the freedom to sit with it.
Yeah,
You know what
I
I
mean,
mean?
I hear what you're saying. It depends on how you go with the process. I remember when I was talking to you one time, you were like, you got to take more time because I like to fucking put out material, right? And push it out. But I also, there's times of like where I set up a schedule, and if I'm trying to push it too fast or too hard, it's because I'm trying to meet a schedule. And then, because I got other projects on the go where I got features that I got to write and put out and whatever, right?
So actually, when we first met, it wasn't even really on a music level. We worked together in the kitchen. Yeah, and
Line and right?
yeah, you were not my biggest fan at that point in time.
Well, you know.
Cause I'm not like, I'm a good friend. I'm just not a great employee. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you wasn't really feeling the work right then. You know what I mean?
No, I wasn't in work mode.
I remember my homegirl Vicky, who was the chef at the time. She was like, "Oh fuck, this guy likes to like, he's a little laxy days ago with the work ethic." And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, but he was fun. He's a fun guy. You know what I mean? Everybody wanted to be around him. So shit, everybody needed dishwashing. No, I'm playing.
It's
But
true, though.
it wasn't. Yeah, you was
Best
working
paid
there.
dishwasher you ever met.
You were doing your part-time thing. Like nobody's, you know what I mean? It was all good.
I need a paycheck.
You did the
know.
work when it was needed to be done.
Yeah. But I was like, we'd be in the kitchen and like Chico's trying to do his prep, right? And I'm like, yo, you should hear this new song. Or he just and then he's like, man, shut the fuck up. Like,
He's over there like trying
don't
to plug
slice
it.
peaches, guys. Like, what the fuck? Like, stop talking to show me your shitty demos.
It's like the dude that comes
Fuck.
in like, where's the auxiliary cord at?
And that would be me.
Yeah.
But I'd only play myself.
Yeah.
Well, cause I was like, this motherfucker raps. I want to impress him, and it just didn't work because my work ethic was shite, and my sound recording quality at the time was not the best.
Yeah. Well, those
But
are
here
steps.
we are, though. Baby
Yeah.
steps.
We made it.
Made
Get
it.
Down podcast.
I mean, it looks pretty good. I watched the first episode. We look pretty good.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah. I don't know about this episode, but the other one's pretty good.
It's gonna be good. All right, come on, man.
Yeah, you got some questions there, bro?
This
Yo,
is the show.
Actually, we should switch sides. I can handle this shit a little bit better. Eh?
No, you can't. Everybody thinks they can until they're in the fucking cabin.
Okay. Well, if you think I can't, you must be crazy. But let's go.
Tripping. All right. So that's how we met.
I line and bright on Agricola.
Yeah. But then we re-met after Socks and I became friends.
Yeah.
In Newfoundland. When we went to
Yeah.
Newfoundland. Then we reconvened. And you're like, oh yeah, I know this motherfucker. But I didn't work for you then, so you had more space for my bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Was it Cape? It was Cape Breton.
What?
I didn't see you in Newfoundland.
No, me and Socks.
Oh, it's not. It's okay.
Me
I
and
was like, I
Socks
wasn't in Newfoundland then.
met in Newfoundland. No.
Okay.
No, Frantic and Dane were going out to do this show in Newfoundland, and like they're like, last minute, you want to go?
Okay.
So I took my mom's American Express Air Miles. Shout out to mom.
Let's go.
I went to Newfoundland to chase my rap dream. Newfoundland of all places.
I was gonna say like, fuck.
It was fucking disgusting. Fuck Lloyd Burt. Nobody ever really got paid from that show. I'll put that on the record. You can watch this podcast and you can hear me say it. You can fucking slow it down,
Who's Lloyd Burt?
flip it, and reverse it. The
Exactly. Who's Lloyd Burt?
He's the guy that promoted the fucking hip hop festival in Newfoundland that we all went to go play,
Oh, okay, yeah.
and then didn't pay people and shit.
Who you guys like fucking fly there or something?
Yeah.
Crazy.
And cause like, he even like brought people from the States and they didn't have places to stay. So he was like, can they just stay with you guys? Like, it was a fucking nightmare.
Jesus.
Like, you know, the funny thing, being an artist, man, like in the early stages, like you gotta deal with some fucking hilarious shit.
Yeah.
Like,
That's crazy.
Like, you must have, like, those tour stories, like, you must got a couple of just, like, nothing going right.
Well,
nothing ever goes.
Yeah. I got a crazy one with when we're doing United States tour. And from the get-go, it was crazy. We started, the tour date was the day after, well, we didn't know this at the time, but it was the day after 9/11. So we're trying to get through the States the day after 9/11, and we have 30 cities in the States in like 40 days that we got to cover. And it starts in Maine, and we got to go through the border at St. Stephen's, New Brunswick at St. Stephen's, Maine, which is, I don't know if y'all know anything like geographically how I live, but it's the racist as motherfucker over there, right? So we're trying to get through as me, my boy Caleb Simmons, shouts out to Caleb Simmons, what it do. And there's like a bunch of us. So there's Josh Martinez, Governor Bolts. These are rappers. They're, I don't know if they're doing that much work at the time. But I got my man Noah coming to a 9 from the Goods. Moves is there. And we're all basically like stuffed in one van. We go to like the St. Stephen's because we got like a show in Bangor, Maine, I think. But we go across there, and then when we get across the border to the American side, homies is just like, get out of the van and all this kind of shit or whatever. They're just being extra because of the fucking 9/11 or whatever. But they're still racist as a motherfucker. So they just pick me and Caleb, the only two people of color, out of the posse, and have us sit in the office separately while the other dudes, they're talking to the other dudes or whatever, but they're all crazy ones because they can tell we're rappers or whatever. So me and Caleb are like sitting in an office here by ourselves, and we see these dudes and they're looking real hickish, you know what I mean? And they're just like staring at us all crazy, and they grab Caleb and they pull him out of the room and they pull him in a separate room. So there's like our other dudes over there, the white dudes in our crew, they're in one room. I'm sitting in the other room. And then they try to pull Caleb because he was young at the time. He was only like 17 or something like that, right? 18. And so they're trying to shake Caleb up in the other room and say that he had ecstasy in his bag and all kinds of crazy shit. And he was trying to like bring an illegal drug across the border. It was crazy. Like none of this shit was actually true.
Just like...
So he doesn't know what to do. He's getting scared. And then they start bringing out records of Caleb Simmons like, because he's just a 17-year-old dude trying to scare him, saying, "Oh, did you like steal a coat when you were in grade 6 from this school or whatever?" And had like the information and shit.
Jesus.
So he's like, you know what I mean? He's like 16, 17. He's sitting there like,
he's shook,
thinking that like something's gonna happen to him, like he's gonna be arrested in St. Stephen's or whatever. So I'm like, yo, man, like I'm staring at the dude, asking him questions like, when can we leave? What's going on? Like when I'm in the other room. And then he had grabbed my bag, like from me. I just had my bag beside me at one point in time. And he just grabbed it from me. He went back and he's like, I'm going to go inspect this. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever, fam. Do what you need to do. And then he comes back and I had like Tylenol or whatever. Just like aspirin. You know what I mean? Like that, 2021, I was still like living at my mother's house at the time. So she's like helping me pack up my bag. Like, make sure you get some water. Whatever. So like, I'm like, yeah, I got like aspirin in there, whatever. He comes out and he's like, I tested this for ecstasy or MDMA, whatever the fuck, right? And he's like, there's traces of MDMA in this. And I'm like, what? Like, you know what I mean? This is a fucking Tylenol, fam. You straight lying. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then, so this is like the craziest thing because he's just standing there saying this to me. And then I just was like, you're fucking lying. I'm like, we're going to be fine. You boys is reaching too hard. You know what I mean? And it's just like, nah, fuck off. So I wasn't giving him like, sort of nothing after that, just cursing and swearing at them. They had enough of me. Went back to Caleb. Basically, we were like, okay, if you've got nothing to charge Caleb on, then we're just going to leave. And they're like, well, you and Caleb can't go get over until you figure out what's going on with Caleb's little charge thing. So he has to go to like the Canada, you know what I mean, side of the border and talk with those people, the Canadian embassy, and just like, oh, like, holy fuck. And just to get the paperwork right. All it was just to stall us out from going over. You know what I mean? Like, they knew that we're just going to go walk over anyway. So we went across to the St. Stephen's side in New Brunswick, stayed in a hotel, ordered some pizza. By the time the next morning came, and this is sort of the shame about it all, is Caleb was just like, I don't want to do this. and then like literally called up one of his friends, and they drove 4 hours to pick him up at the border and drove him home.
Shit.
Now, I don't really, you know what I mean? I'm not mad at him for doing that, but we were trying to like, just, this will be the worst of it, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't really the worst of it. Well, it was the worst of it, but it was like...
Isn't that the way it goes?
Yeah, it wasn't the worst of it, but we hit a deer in Indiana that completely took the fucking whole front of the van off and could have killed us all. But and then the van was completely done, and our dude didn't get insured, and it was a wreck. We had to like rent a new van in Indiana, stay there. We ended up losing some money in Asheville.
Being an emerging artist, being an up and comer is not that much fun. It's not like as glamorous.
I mean, like, it's fun when you get to, because like all of us are like, man, we get to see all these cities, right? Like Indianapolis and like Minneapolis, like, you know what I mean? So it's like, it was good for that, because you see some places like New Mexico you probably never go to, or fucking Arizona or Colorado, like, you know what I mean? But to do the 30 cities in 40 days was a little bit much. I think we probably should have reconvened and reevaluated that one. But
there's something really dope about like just rolling into like a situation with like a few of your homies where like you just don't know what's kind of coming. You know what I mean? Like being on tour is kind of cool. It's a really good, like, if you're a crew or like, it's a really good bonding experience to kind of just like deal with shit as it comes up on the road. Like being on the road is a lot of fun. Even if you're bumming it, like even when we had like 8 motherfuckers in an Airbnb with like 2 beds, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. There was always something.
No,
really,
it's always fun, but I think it's funner when like you're younger. You know what I mean? Like, ain't no motherfucking way that I'm doing 30 cities in 40 days with 6, 7 other people in a van at my age now at 41. You know what I mean? That's just not happening. Right? So it's like, we do tours, and like me and Tino go on tour or whatever, and that's enough for us, you know what I mean? Drive around, do like 3, 4 cities at a time, whether it be in Ontario or like the Maritimes. And I mean, I would do that if I had to do that, but like, it's not like we're gonna have the money to take planes everywhere, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, like, you're just at a different point in your career now.
Yeah, but I mean, like Black Buffalo, like, we're clicking the label now, so we'll probably do that come 2022 or into 2021. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Go back to the good old days of doing the tours and shit.
Well, yeah, I think hopefully I'll be on there because I got my album coming.
You got the album coming through.
Yeah, so hopefully we can make that pop.
That's right, baby.
Man, our track on that album is fucking fire.
It is fire.
Yeah, 5-year plan.
The beat is crazy.
Yeah, that's a 75 Crates beat.
I know.
Yeah.
75.
Shout out to 75 Crates.
75. Yeah, that shit was dope as fuck.
Yeah, man. I really appreciate you fucking blessing me. Like, one thing I was gonna say, man, is like you're one of the most like down to ride. Like if somebody presents an idea to you or like wants you to get in on something and you think it has like any kind of merit.
Yeah.
Like you'll either hop on or like be like, well, I'm interested, but like it's got to be kind of like this for me to make it work.
For sure.
Right? You're not like.
I'm always down to make the music.
Well, yeah, sure. Like you're just down to you really, I feel, understand the community aspect of it, right? And like and the building.
Yeah.
And like that's something I've been seeing a lot of lately with just, the crew.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're trying to do that with the Sip Set thing, right? Where everybody's, I think like as you work as a team, and with the team, it just brings the best out of you, and you have multiple layers of talent, and just you can sort of feed off each other. And if somebody's strong in this area, you can, you know what I mean? They can add that, and if you're strong in this area, you can add that. It all turns into a good gumbo,
Yeah. Well, you gotta make sure the song is the best it can be.
Yeah.
Right? You gotta like work together, not against each other. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like when I got you to do that track on my album.
Yeah.
Right? I wasn't just like, oh, I want you to do a track. I was like, what kind of beat would T like? You know, what sort of like themes, like what track should I get him on?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you got to think through all that every time you do something.
Or like when I got Socks on it, like, you know, Socks always got the food bars.
Yeah.
So it made sense to get him on the deep fried pepperoni joint.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's just like, I don't know, like knowing what people's needs are and like meeting them there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like that with any project or any collaboration. Or I mean, like, you know, I like to do it that way, but some people just do it like, here, throw me a verse or throw me a 16, and then you just do whatever, you know what I mean? But like, I like to hear the beat, make sure it's like a proper song. For us, the intention was just to have fire bars.
Yes.
Right? So there wasn't need to, like, you know what I mean, get together and think through a concept or anything. With Yours and Socks' song, it's dope. Like, it's a conceptual, just like pizza corner, eating out greasy ass food type shit. You know what I mean? So Maritimers all can relate to that.
Facts. Yeah, but like with our track, I was just like, the idea is 5-year plan.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
Yeah.
And run with that.
Yeah.
And just be heat.
Yeah.
But like, that's like, just knowing your artistry, that is enough of a baseline for you to map out your verse.
Yeah. What's going on with the fucking Sean Paul in the back and shit?
Sean Paul?
Like, yeah. You guys can hear that? Oh, you can't? Okay, we're good then.
Yeah, I can hear it though.
Yeah, okay.
To be honest, I thought I was
it would
just
be
hearing
crazy.
shit. I was like, oh, this is not good. Yeah, meeting people in the middle is super important. You know, coordinating
I'm over here
people
cutting
is...
them off. Yeah.
What?
Well, no, I'm just got my back to Francis. I don't want that.
Coordinating people is hard.
Yeah.
Especially like a lot of people, a lot of different schedules, and then like, you know, sometimes egos. It's not like saying anybody in particular.
No, yeah.
But
I
like,
mean,
you know,
I mean, it's all of us, right? We all have those sort of
as
egos
artists,
from time to time. Yeah.
As artists, you know what I mean? We tend to be more egotistical than your average person.
I mean, these days, like, and Ghetto Socks knows this because he does it with me. We're trying to, like, let all that ego shit, you know what I mean? Just drop that and try to just build with our community and our friends. And like I said, I mentioned Ghetto Socks because he does it so well. Always looking out for everybody and trying to help out everybody when he can, and several different aspects of the artistic creations that we do. But like, you know, he's selfless, right? So when it comes to shit like that, I try to sort of be more like that, you know what I mean? Because like, that's the sort of things that I've learned from him. It's the selflessness is like, and when you click up, that's where you get the best version of you. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's the Sipset thing, right? That's the low pressure thing. We're all family. We all just try to work together. And there's sort of, you don't really lose when you contribute to somebody else's album. And you know what I mean? And you make the track better, or you think you can make the track better, or if they do the same for you, right? That's a win-win situation.
Well, anything you do or you put out, you know, brings attention to your name.
Yeah.
Right? So it's super
You
important.
just gotta keep working, yeah.
And like, you know, we're talking about Socks and like all the stuff he does in the community and stuff. And I think that's probably actually one of the biggest reasons for his success. Like one of the main things that attributes to him being successful.
Yeah, when he's not scared to just jump in and dabble and help out wherever he can.
You know, and like he'll get in on the ground floor by doing like sometimes the shit work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he knows he can get in on the ground floor and then build it up to a place where he needs, or like.
I mean, it's the same. Yeah, it's the same. It's the same way I think, but it's like I don't know. It's been working for us so far.
Yeah. Well, it's like, you know, different things like, you know, for example, like doing this podcast, right? Like now, whereas we have a platform that we're created, you know, people approach us because they want to be on, right? And they want to be able to talk about their shit.
Yeah.
So it's like it went from a place of me approaching people to people approaching me.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So just like the more things you can do to put yourself out there, and the more things you can do to help people, right? Because like you know, people will share this. Like they'll get views, we'll get views.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like, you know, you getting on, like, you know, me using you as a friend and like, you know, not stealing, but like hoping to benefit from your fan base, I guess, from having you on a track.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Right?
self-promotion doesn't really work that well because it's like, of course you think you're the best. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
And
I mean,
like, but if someone else says like, "Oh, that's really good," then it
and
kinda,
that's
like,
a reality.
expands,
Everybody
right?
sort of needs that. Like, for example, when it comes to, and I'm not saying that these dudes aren't hard workers or whatever. It's just like an example that came to my head. Like for the Stomptown dudes with like Snack the Ripper and how Mercules came upon. Like, you know what I mean? Like that Stomptown crew, that graffiti crew had like a massive following on YouTube or whatever, and that even helped us out too as well. When we put our tracks out on that, it's like immediately a couple 100,000, and then grows and grows and grows and grows. So the only reason why I use that example is like you got to find certain pages and certain lanes and certain websites or whatever to share your shit, or as media platforms to share your shit, or it's not gonna matter.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm dropping heat all the time, but like one time it can be like 10,000 views. One time, like these days, it's only a couple 3,000 views. You know what I mean? But I have total confidence because I've done it for years that if like the right person that had like 2 million followers, I would have 75% of the people be like, this shit is heat. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, and then they would share it from then. So it's just about, you have to sort of find your lane and work, and you have to sort of get with people who have those sort of lanes and can help you out. Or you can just make it by yourself, but you know.
I feel like no, you can't.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's not a
Nobody
real
really
thing.
ever makes it by themselves. You need a team.
You need a little bit of team.
You can be the leader of the team.
Yeah.
Right? But you still are gonna need to delegate work, and you're still gonna need other people's input.
Well, the thing is like I couldn't even do any of the shit that I'm doing if it always wasn't for like 2 or 3 people in the clique, like Moves or Socks.
Yeah.
Or like you know what I mean? Because like we have a little clique where he does like my graphic design work and shit like that. I record at Moves or I record at Festers. Like without these things, it can't be possible.
Yeah, and that's
right?
the thing,
So
right?
it's like with Kevin Beal and Black Buffalo, he sort of gives us the resources and stuff that we need. So there's plenty of things that go into like your craft and trying to do it right. Whether it be like photo sessions for getting your pics right in photography, or whether it be like your graphic design, or like, you know what I mean?
Well, let's just do like a basic rundown of shit you generally need. Okay? So you need graphic design.
Yeah.
Okay? Production if you don't produce.
Yeah.
Okay? Recording.
Yeah. You need the studio.
Right?
Yeah.
And then the mixing and mastering.
Yeah. And you need your like album art, layout, all that kind
Yeah.
of shit.
Right?
You need the mixing, you need the mastering, and sometimes those are different, happen in different places. Sorry.
You
And,
need your distribution.
Yeah.
If that's something
you
you
gotta try
got.
to find some distribution and stuff like that. So like there's so much to go into an album that when like I'm asking for like $10 to $15 for you to buy it, if it's like a CD or a tape, or $20 if it's a tape, or if it's $25 if it's a vinyl, you shouldn't be like fucking snubbing your nose up at me.
No.
You know what I mean? That shit ain't too much money though.
I feel like people are just not accustomed to paying for art anymore.
It's just
at
so
least-
quick and easy, right?
Well,
So
it's just like streaming is huge, right? Like people don't want to buy an album generally. And normally if people buy an album, it's just for the like collectible.
Yeah. Well, at least vinyl's coming back and tape's coming back now, so that there is a collectible. Because like I love that vinyl and tape are coming back because I love vinyl and tape. And I also 4 years ago when I put out Chico's 90 Project and put it on CD and just started putting out CDs. Like I love the look of a CD. I like the, you know what I mean, just the way it feels, like how you fucking everything about a CD.
Yeah.
So. And it's the same thing with tape. Like, I remember with buying tapes back in the day when I was like 13, 14, 15, you get the plastic, have to rip over that crazy plastic on it, and then you'd unfold the inner, you know what I mean? And then I'd put that shit on my wall, whatever, and then you get crazy colors or crazy designs on the tape and shit. Everybody puts that crazy work in. So it's definitely worth fucking $15, you know what I mean?
For sure. I agree.
But to have something to hold is what I'd rather buy myself, answering your question or whatever, than just stream it $1 at a time, because I just fucking... But right now, you just fucking download it for free anyway, everything.
Well, yeah. Well, like, we're I'm having, Lord willing, my album printed on vinyl. This will be my first time. I'm excited.
There you go.
But like, to draw people to buying the vinyl, I've included 2 extra songs that are just on the vinyl.
Okay.
That won't be available to stream or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
So like, if you want
it's
to
a
hear the
promotion
2
tactic.
bonus tracks, I mean, it's going to be a limited like 200 run of the album anyways. But like, it will also feature 2 songs that you won't really be able to get.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the
elsewhere.
things that you do to promote, right? Like, or whether it be like a remix, or you get like another producer to like do a remix, or you do a remix and get another person to feature on it. That's shit that we do too, right? Like the Aquaculture doing his remix with like the hip hop remix that Moves does the beat for, and Mickey Fax is on, like, you know what I mean? So the remix thing is crazy. Like, Brian likes to like Moves. I say Brian, DJ Moves. He likes to do remixes all the time, other people's shit, so we can get like a hip hop element, right?
Yeah. Shout out to DJ Moves.
Movesy.
Gonna come see you right after this. Well, not after this, after the next episode taping. I'm still awake.
You gonna be asleep by that.
Oh my God, last time I went to Moves, man. Last time I went up to Moves.
Last time this motherfucker was up all night on acid and shit. So
no, that's
allegedly.
not true.
Oh, come on, man. We old enough now to be telling the truth.
My mom go watch this.
Whatever. It's a 70s drug. It's fine.
If you don't know, now you know.
Well, they can just cut the shit out then. It's fine.
No, I'm about it. I'm about the honesty,
Right.
the podcast and shit.
I was just trying to entertain the people.
I don't know. I think kind of go back to what we were talking about earlier about like having fun, like hip hop and shit, right? Like, even like with like this, you know what I mean? Like, I love that we can just like joke and go off, like, you know what I mean? And like, I don't want it to be all serious all the time, you know what I mean? I want people to see the humanity. You know what I mean? Like, I want
The humanity!
the humanity.
I thought he was trying to say humility, but then humility. But that's fine. That's cool.
I'm surprised you're not down here with me, cuz you're fucking fresh.
Yeah, well,
You're chipper.
Well, it's, I was saving myself for today. Gordo's coming today. I'm gonna get myself drunked up tonight. You know what I mean? That's gonna be my thing.
Yeah.
I gotta, like, as I get older, I gotta do every couple weeks just that special day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Daddy's alone time.
Right.
Nobody come in the studio.
Right.
Like, when it's my day, there's gonna be strobe lights and weird noises, and just don't come in. You don't need to know.
All right. Move on.
All right. So you started rapping 16?
16, yes.
And there's a video of your first ever performance.
Yeah.
It's pretty famous.
Yeah. There's a video and it's on
the Lil
tape
T
and CD.
freestyle?
Yeah. Yeah, it was 96, one of the Helltown Meltdown things. Joe Run, MC Skills, Nathan C, Papa Grand. It was even like classified back when he was Celtic Rebels, I think that was his old crew name. Him and his brother, or him and another dude, I can't remember. But like, yeah, this is a long time ago. Like, all the old school heads was there. Obviously, Hip Club Groove, Corey Bowles, Check Love, you know what it is. 6'2", $1.65. So there was like the good old days where it's just like $5 shows, whether it be Cafe Olay or wherever, right? Yeah, it was good vibes, dude. I remember when I first got there, MC Skills was like on the mic introducing, like, yo, we got this young boy about to come on, and then I just jumped on. I remember like having a verse ready, but then literally like halfway through getting so excited because I was so hyped, forgetting the verse
Just forgetting it.
after the first fucking 4 bars. And then like it's a young mind, 16 years old though, but I could pick up lines as I wanted to do, and I sort of had like 80 beats per minute, had enough time to just think of the next one that I want to spit. But yeah, it all came out fucking dope as fuck.